Not even exactly sure. I kind of got an idea where I'm going with this. I know I want to say something. Um, so, uh, the idea of what kind of what's a good belief? Let's say what's a good belief and what's a bad belief? To me, I would say it's sort of like, does the shoe fit? If you try a belief and it just doesn't work for you, then to to try and live with that belief, to me is like living with a shoe that's the wrong size. Let's say, or only having an uncomfortable chair that doesn't fit you properly, or the shoe, I guess, is a better, because chairs typically aren't really that. Typically, they're not that uncomfortable, or they're pretty multi. They're general. But yeah, beliefs. So now there are some beliefs that I think are generally very useful. They're very practical. Logic, mathematics, scientific stuff that anybody can leverage from. It doesn't matter what the more like coincidental aspects of our beliefs are. So I think, like, anybody, by yeah, and when I say take, like, when I frame what it means to wear the shoe of a belief, it's kind of how seriously do you take it. So I would take, for example, mathematics very seriously, especially the more simple it is, the more basic it is, the more seriously you should take it. And then, from my perspective, you're starting with something that's really simple, and then you're expanding on that, so that way, as things become increasingly abstract, you're saying that, oh, this thing here is to be taken just as seriously as the really, really simple stuff. Because, or, about, maybe not, it's I'd say it interlocks in such a way as to bootstrap or whatever, sort of like carry along the seriousness or the gravity of the more really simple, basic things to the bigger abstractions, to the working in the direction of abstraction. And the same thing, science, I would say, operates in a very simple way where you are trying to deal with an empirical reality, and create abstractions based on verifiable, I guess, independently verifiable and also falsifiable abstractions, based on what we learn. So I guess one of the things in science is you always want to put yourself in a position where the structure that you're building, the abstraction that you're building, can be destroyed if something is shown to be there's almost, I guess, in a sense, with science, there's sort of like a you're creating something that's sort of, in a sense, it's supposed to be attacked. By people are supposed to sort of poke at it, prod it, and we find its little inconsistencies and stuff, and so that way when a group of people can say, "Oh wow, this is a good structure." I feel like I'm not explaining this really well. But the idea was that certain things should be taken, I guess, very seriously, with beliefs, and certain beliefs just generally fit. And I'm placing logic, mathematics, science into, and especially basic scientific ways of reasoning, into just generally like a shoe, that sort of the aspect of the shoe that fits anybody, like a shoe has maybe a rubber sole, or like a shoe is constructed in a way that it's sort of flexible. Flexible shoes are better than wooden shoes. So then you can get to the sort of more coincidental aspects of belief. And I do think that most of what we believe, well, no matter how scientific you are, just because of the enormity of what we're confronted with, that most of our beliefs are coincidental. And and then you could say, to what extent do the coincidental beliefs fit me as a person, so that you can try and build your belief structure in a way that suits you, so that you can re-examine how your mind is interpreting the situation so that it works more for you. So, and one of the, so with any kind of dogma, and with any kind of very strict, with any kind of like robotically strict adherence to a belief, I guess you could say, are you putting, if you were to make a value judgment, what's more important? Like, let's say we could all make a value judgment. What's more important? Is it your humanity, and to be human, but whatever. But that's the word that I can think of right now that seems relevant. So your humanity, or your dogma. If you put your dogma over your humanity, then it's kind of like you decided that whatever shoe you have is, you're not even going to try to make better shoes anymore. You're not going to try and make a more comfortable shoe. You're not going to try and make maybe a more waterproof shoe, a shoe that grips better. You've just given up on the shoe project. But if you place your humanity over your dogma, then you're engaged in the design process. Then you're like a real creator. As opposed to just a consumer. I like that. Okay. I don't think I want to say anything else.